Hey, this is Elena. I am the creator of this Facebook group, and I love to help other cleaners just like myself. I am an affordable cleaning business mentor, and I also create digital courses so that people can learn a lot of information on their business and save a lot of time, get lots of tips and tricks so that you can learn from the mistakes that I've made in the past and make really awesome progress in your business. So today, I want to talk to you about how to price your cleaning jobs. And it's something that people ask a lot about online. How should I price? And also knowing when is a good time to raise prices. That's a question that I get asked a lot. So I have a lot of really great pricing trainings in my digital courses, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the basics of it today. So I'm going to discuss all of the factors that I consider when I'm pricing a cleaning job. So I consider, first of all, how long the job will take, how many people are doing it. So usually it's just me, but if I'm bringing a helper, then I'm going to be charging per cleaner. And I can change, the rate needs to change accordingly. The effort is something that I consider. So how hard is the job? Because some jobs really are easier than others. I consider how many supplies are going to be needed and the overall cost of doing business. Like, I'm going to have to have insurance for the month and putting aside taxes for each job that I do, and the fees that I have to pay for taking payments online. So I consider all of these things when I'm pricing so that it's not all coming out of my profits. There's also the distance that I'm traveling, if it's a short distance versus a long distance. And then also the client's preferences is really important. So, every client is really different and every home is different. So that's why it can be difficult to do pricing, kind of one size fits all. I like to be very flexible. So if we're considering all of these different variables, we'll get a good price quote. And then you'll also get a good system going for thinking about your pricing and knowing which questions to ask. So I'm going to go into more detail about all of these factors. And so first let's talk about the types of jobs, because that's something that you need to consider first. You may have a lot of basic cleaning or budget type cleaning jobs where people just want the basics. They maybe don't need a lot of details, or maybe they keep up with their own cleaning a lot and they just need someone to kind of help with some of the details every 2 to 4 weeks. So that's the case with like a basic cleaning or budget cleaning in homes and apartments and offices. And then I would think about it differently if I'm going to do a more deep cleaning or a more detailed cleaning in homes and apartments and offices. So those are two different situations. And then we have other types of cleaning jobs that are more specialized, like moving in and moving out cleaning jobs, post-construction type jobs, if there's something requiring biohazardous waste cleanup, and then certain commercial spaces that are, you know, just more specialized than an office. All of these things are different. And so if you do specialized cleaning jobs, you probably shouldn't be asking people who do basic or budget, homes or apartment jobs. And on the other hand, if you clean mainly homes and apartments, you want to make sure that when you're asking around for pricing information that you ask other businesses that also focus on that. And if you consider yourself very deep, really skilled with deep cleaning, or you're really good with detailed cleaning, that is a special skill in itself. And that's something that I have really brought to my business to help set myself apart. So if you're willing to do, more clutter, more organizing, do some of the extras that maybe some of other businesses wouldn't do, then that's going to put yourself in a different price bracket with the deep and detailed cleanings. So let's talk a little bit about how the overall pricing journey looks for you when you're first starting out versus when you get a lot more experience. So if you're watching, let me know. Have you been just dabbling in cleaning a little bit on the side? Are you a part-timer and a newbie? I would say that's like, a stage 1 type cleaner. You're at the beginning of your journey. And then if you are someone who is at the next stage of your business, you're the next level up, maybe you're going full-time with your business, you're especially reliable and professional, and you're really all in with your business, and you're just starting to get some experience with it. Or are you a stage 3 type cleaner? So you've been doing this a while, you're already getting really fast with all your systems, and you feel confident in the results that you're going to get and that you'll be able to please your clients. So let me know in the chat if you're stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. So for me, I've gotten to the point where I'm really fast with my cleaning. I know what clients are going to want because I know the right questions to ask when I do my walkthrough and when I do my quoting over the phone. So it's gotten to a point where I can now teach these systems to other people. So I would consider myself, at stage 3. And then if you have specialized services that you offer, that would be something like you also do some of those other specialized cleaning services like post-construction, or if you do decluttering and organizing, that's something that I offer in addition to cleaning. And so that can also set me apart from other businesses. So let me tell you a little bit about how I like to think about the rates. If you're first starting out and just getting your foot in the door, you're trying to get clients and get experience, you'll often see people pricing themselves at $20 to $25 per hour per cleaner. So if it's just you coming, maybe you're telling people that your base rate is $20 to $25 per hour. Well, that doesn't mean that that's all you're going to charge. So we'll get more into this in a second. This is just charging for, as I said at the beginning, just for labor. And then we're also going to consider also how hard the work is and the supplies, the cost of doing business, the distance that you have to travel, and the specific client's preferences, like how detailed they want you to get, how many, things they have on their list that they really have prioritized. So you can think about it like when you're first starting out, you're probably going to charge something like $20 to $30 an hour. And then as you start going full time and being more reliable and professional, you're probably getting to the point where you're like, maybe want to drop some of your lower paying clients. And as you get some new clients, you can tell them, I'm now charging $30 an hour, or $35, or $40, or $45. So that's a pretty typical range, depending on where you live and how full you want your schedule to be and what your competition is looking like, and really how you can market yourself to be different from the competition. So that's something I can help you with if you feel like you're competing with a lot of other people who charge less than you. It's very possible to then raise yourself to the point where you're making $45 an hour. Or once you're at stage 3, if you're getting really fast with your systems and getting really confident, that's where I got to the point where I started charging 50 or 55 an hour. Or sometimes it came out to more like 60 or 75, just kind of depending on what it was. So I have included another resource here from my blog on how to raise your hourly rate. There's some good information there. So I'll put links in the comments later on, so you can have that. And then I will also include a link to this entire document, so you will have it. So before I continue to chat about how we're going to take all of this, chatting about your hourly rate, and then adding on other fees as well to figure out what your actual quote would be. We'll get into that in just a moment. I just wanted to check out the comments. So we've got some level 2 people here. Hi guys. Level 1/2. Julia says, I charge by the job, but still struggling. So if you're struggling to figure out how to charge, if you have a specific job that you're kind of curious about, or you could write more details about it in the comments, or send me a private message. We can chat more about specific situations. But if you feel comfortable sharing with the group, just go ahead and type in the comments about a particular home, or maybe someone's telling you they want to pay a certain amount and you're not sure about that. So just feel free to ask in the comments. We can chat about your specific questions. So now I want to get a little more into some examples of how I would do pricing. Okay, so let's say we've got one worker working for a small job. It's 1 to 2 hours. Now, if I think to myself, this is a small job, it's a small apartment, or it's a house that's not very dirty, I'm thinking it's going to only take 1 or 2 hours. I always have to have in mind, what is my minimum rate that I'm going to be willing to make to go and do this job. If it's only going to take me, 45 minutes, I'm going to charge for, at least 1 hour. If it's, going to take an hour to an hour and a half, I might, feel more comfortable. Like maybe I don't really have room in my schedule for a really low paying job, so I might, start asking for a 2-hour minimum rate. So it's just some examples how like you can take your preferences and kind of, try to push your clients to pick a package that works for you. So if someone says, I don't really need much, try to, figure out what you can add on that would be super helpful to them, so you can get to that 1 hour or 2-hour minimum. So you might say to yourself, I want to make at least, 50 for, 1 hour of cleaning and travel and getting your car ready, or maybe it could be 40, but just decide what your base rate is for 1 hour. And then we're going to also talk about how you might add on to that. So let's say you have a job, you're not quite sure how long it'll take, but you think it'll be between 1 or 2 hours. You could say your minimum base rate was going to be like 70 for the 2 hours, plus maybe you have like $5 worth of supplies, and you have a minimum of $5 travel fee, and you want to add on a little bit to make sure you're covering taxes and fees and other things like that. So when you think about it like that, it's coming out to, where'd it go? $95 for a job that you think will take between, about an hour and a half or two. And maybe, some weeks it would only take you like an hour and 20 minutes or something. But you're still, I like to allow myself a little extra time if necessary so that I can give my clients some extras sometimes and I don't have to always be in a rush. And, it's pretty typical for a lot of businesses to have a minimum of 100 or 150. So when you get to that point, you'll kind of know. But I think for a lot of people starting out, you might be hesitant to charge as much as 95 for a minimum, but I'm really going to encourage you to do it because of all the things that go into it. It's not just about your time, it's about, the other things that you're also bringing into it. So think about what your packages might look like if it was a 3 or 4 hour package, or if it was something that looked like it would take a lot longer, like more than 4.5 hours, and kind of get in and so every time you do a walkthrough, you might be thinking, okay, I think this is a small job that'll take 1 to 2 hours. Is it, maybe an average job that will take 3 to 4 hours? Or is it going to be a more in-depth thing that could be 4.5, 5, 6 hours? Is it going to take more than one day? All of these things should be part of your pricing because, for instance, when I do a really big move-out job, if I split it over 2 days and they're paying like half of it up front, that means that some of the fees that they're paying me are going to come out with the deposit, and then later when they pay the rest of it, there'll be another fee. So, maybe like $10 to $15 in fees for, $400 cleaning or something. But I'm always keeping in mind what my expenses are. Let's think about what if it's a really high effort job. If it's the kind of job where there's a lot of dust, if you're getting really sweaty, you're really using a lot of your muscles, you might be sore the next day, you might have a hard time doing a heavy duty job the next day. You might need to think about that in your schedule, like one day, like every other day, I'll have really high effort jobs, but then you should really have some low effort jobs mixed in. So sometimes I price differently for high effort and low effort. So make sure that you think about an extra supply fee. So if I am using like a lot of extra duster heads, or if I need like a lot of, a whole vacuum bag for one house, I'm going to charge accordingly. The cost of doing business. Always consider that you should be putting aside 30% for taxes. It may not end up being that much, but I like to put aside at least 25 to 30% so that when it comes time to pay my taxes, it's just already put aside. I've got insurance that costs $40 a month, and then, as I mentioned, the online payment processing could be, $4 for like a kind of a small job, or it might be, $8, $15, depending on it's a percentage of the transaction. And there's some people who pay me in cash or checks and stuff like that, but I really don't mind doing online payments and having that be a part of the fee. I am deducting the cost of the fees on my taxes, and I'm also charging the client for it because I don't want it to be coming out of my profits. And then think about distance fees. So I have some clients who have me, drive quite a ways, so I'll charge a $35 distance fee if I'm going to be driving a round trip of 45 minutes. But most of my jobs are within, 5 to 15 minutes away, so I think about that as, maybe a $5 fee. And then I always consider the client's preference. So I right up front, I'm asking them, are you, wanting kind of a budget service? Are you trying to keep to a lower budget? Or are you wanting, a luxury package where I get really detailed? Um, you can kind of tell when certain people are more picky, they want you to be really detailed, or if they haven't cleaned the house in a while and they don't even realize how dirty it is. Those are, you know, they may not realize how much they need you, but you still have to price accordingly if there's a lot of dust and heavy buildup if they haven't cleaned for, a few months or more. So, if your client is making you question your worth as a cleaner, I would love to chat with you because I want you to make sure that you remember that cleaning services are a luxury and it requires trust and professionalism and stamina and energy and integrity. And these are really special traits. And you need a lot of experience and knowledge to be able to do detailed and safe cleaning. So don't undervalue yourself. And if you feel like you're having trouble accepting that it's okay to charge higher rates, or if you're feeling guilty about like attaining financial success with your business, you might be holding on to beliefs that are limiting you. And there is a way out of that. So let me know in the chat if that's something that you struggle with, if it's hard for you to think about charging more because you feel guilty, you're not sure if that's like really appropriate, if that's something like if you really belong with the other cleaners who are charging that much, or you can't understand how people could be charging that much. Because let's talk. I will tell you. I have seen all kinds of cleaning services, and I know what I'm worth, and I know that doing my best is worth more than someone who is just getting into this and doesn't know as much. So I've developed that kind of confidence for myself and would love you to have that as well. So what I'm going to do is share a link of this in the comments so you guys can have it for yourselves. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next Wednesday. PM me if you want to chat anytime. And I also offer free coaching sessions, so just send me a message if you want to try out coaching with me for free. All right, have a great night. Thank you so much.